it's hard to be aware during that storm, during the argument, during the time that we are actually in it. But I think that we can prepare so that we don't get into that chaos, so we don't get into that fight or argument. And I think what I learned yesterday was that looking into our investments is probably not the best thing. At the end of the night at 9, it was like 8:30, right after Eli was put to bed. Like
technology, detailed money things, those kinds of things probably aren't. Reading a contract, probably not good ideas for late at night when you're low on energy.
Or even Welcome back, guys, to another episode of 3171's podcast. My name is Tim.
And I'm Jody.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how our energy levels affect the family home. We experienced a crazy night last night and we just realized how critical it is, how important it is that we check our energy levels before we do anything important, anything that's big, and really just checking our energy throughout our day so that we can be our best for ourselves, for our family. And we're just going to go ahead and talk about that. Well, let's just start with just what's been going on.
Yeah, we've been rearranging the house. So sleeping is in a kind of different for some of us.
Right. So for the past 2.5 years, maybe 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
I've been sleeping out here, which we call the office/basement. This is actually a renovated garage, one car garage. Yeah. And I've been sleeping out here because, number one, I need my sleep. Right. That's one of the biggest issues, I think, for me, is that if I don't get enough sleep, I'm not a good person.
That's correct, yeah.
And I think with you as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I feel like you and Eli sleep better together comparative if I jump in there and try to sleep there with you guys. So the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I've been sleeping out here, and it's just because we value sleep. We value our energy. And whenever my sleep gets broken up, that's when it really starts feeling like I have no control. Yeah. Like my energy is just terrible. The enemy, Satan, attacks at me when I'm exhausted, and I realize that too. He doesn't attack me when I'm in a positive, high energy state.
You're more on guard. You're like prepared for that.
I'm on guard when I'm feeling rested. So when I'm not feeling rested, that's just a way that the enemy just comes in and just devours me because I have no patience. I have tiredness.
Right. I think it comes out for me in more of just an irritability. Like I feel like I don't. I think I like to be productive. I was kind of, raised by always constantly working, always busy, always doing stuff. And so if I'm tired, I don't feel like I can be as productive, and that makes me irritable. And then I'm irritable towards the kids. I'm irritable towards you, and I don't really want to, or I don't feel like I can accomplish everything that I want to accomplish in a day when I don't get good sleep and have good energy. So I definitely am not my best self when I've had very little sleep. So,
but I do think that it affects me a lot different.
It does.
Like you were able to wake up last night, or actually this morning, doing all right. I woke up just feeling like crap, and it got to the point where I just had to sleep in. Yeah. So I don't know if you think that's how it is, or
I mean, I do think I don't know if it's because I have been used to it for so many years with Eli, like in the newborn phase and things like that. Right. But if I get woken up in the middle of the night, I always get woken up in the middle of the night. Now Eli's in his own room, and he still wakes up though during the night. So I'm kind of used to it. So I think my body's just used to it.
But you're also sleeping in as well in the morning.
Some mornings, especially if we go to bed later. So when we go to bed a little bit later, then I do sleep in the mornings, and then that throws me off, because then I don't have my quiet time in the morning, the time where I can be more productive without anyone else being awake and up. And when I sleep in like that, then it also makes me more irritable because I didn't get everything done that I wanted to, or I didn't start my day with quiet time. So there's a lot of things that kind of start spiraling when the energy's not great.
And in my schedule, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. At least 4 days a week. And then the days that I'm off, I wake up at 5. 5 a.m. is sleeping into me. Yeah. So, which is crazy.
Not me, but
But so I'm up early. So if I go to bed past 10 o'clock, that's not enough sleep for me.
Right. Oh yeah.
I need a good solid 6.5 hours to 7 to uninterrupted to really feel at my highest self.
Right.
Anytime that's broken up like that, then that definitely impacts me. So, working all day at my job and just using energy there throughout my day, and some days are almost 10 hours. So I'm expending my energy there, and then I get home, and then there's chaos, right? There's a toddler running around just
crying or screaming or whatever.
Lydia's getting home from school, and I'm coming home exhausted, especially on a bad night of sleep, and that's where it just, I feel Satan come in and just try to attack. Just try to attack my patience.
Right. No, and I definitely see that, because it's all of a sudden just everyone's there. Everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to do stuff. So that you go from, you're already tired, you've already ran out of your energy, and now there's just all this chaos, and you're trying to figure out who to talk to and what to do, and then that's when the irritability comes in more. And so if we're trying to be productive in the evening, which a lot of times that's our time, we're doing the podcast now in the evening, that's our time to get things done together, especially, or talk about things. Like, if we don't have that good energy, it starts to spiral actually pretty quickly, and that's kind of what we saw a little bit last night, trying to be productive, both not having great energy, and we start snapping at each other, and it becomes a thing where it's just like,
and we're up past 10 o'clock arguing about
or then come trying to reel back from the argument and everything, and make sure we're not going to bed angry, and then that makes it then again bad energy today because we didn't get good sleep, so
just last night's argument, or last night's just situation, made me realize, like, we have so much energy throughout our day, and it's so important to get good quality sleep, and that's why I've slept out here for so long. And now that I'm moving into the bedroom now, I have to figure out a game plan on how I'm going to get that quality sleep. But even if I don't, I have to figure out how I can be aware of it the next day, so that I'm not snapping snapping at the kids, because I don't want that bad energy at the house. So I have to really be aware. And I've been taking naps. When I get home, 15 minutes is pretty much all I need, and I feel a lot better. But I really got to figure out how I can be, I guess how to be more aware of my mood. Yeah.
And I think that's a really good, like, when we don't have good energy, it's very easy to be negative. I mean, you're irritable, or whatever it is, you're tired, you're running on low, that gas tank is almost empty. And it's so much easier for us as humans to be negative all the time. It takes intentional work to have that positive mindset. And I think that's where, you don't have the energy to really to think about the gratitude, or to think about the positive things, or to think about, I'm done with work, I'm coming home to the family. Yes, it may be chaotic, but you said last night, but I've got my kids, they're healthy, and we've got our house, and we've got food, and we've got all the things that we need, and we're provided for, and we're grateful for that. But it's hard when you're in that, when you haven't had good sleep, and to really be intentional about having that positive mindset.
It's hard to be aware during that storm, during the argument, during the time that we are actually in it. But I think that we can prepare so that we don't get into that chaos, so we don't get into that fight or argument. And I think what I learned yesterday was that looking into our investments is probably not the best thing. At the end of the night at 9, there was like 8:30, right after Eli was put to bed, like 8:30, 9 o'clock is when I started figuring out how to invest and get our investments started. So that's probably not a good time to do it.
Technology, detailed money things, those kinds of things probably aren't. Reading a contract, probably not good ideas for late at night when you're low on energy.
Or even working on our Amazon, what is it called?
Yeah, my exercise equipment holder thingy, whatever, shelf thing. Yeah.
So
putting that together.
But I think planning or preparing so that we don't come to those situations, so we're not staying up till past 10 o'clock arguing about a situation that could have been avoided.
So I think it's something that we're learning of, that we need to have I don't know, like a way to just communicate when we know one or the other is really tired, like, hey, this, we probably shouldn't do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Or we should, have that kind of plan for this is the kind of night it's going to be. And then the next day, if it's something important, like setting up our account, we need to make sure we separate time. Like, hey, maybe when you get home from work, this would be a really good time for us to do it instead of waiting until later in the evening when we've run out of even more energy. So, being thoughtful, I guess, about each other's energy and how we can best work together to get things done.
And then just speaking of energy, like if you're always in that negative state, it does require you to create more energy. And that's why exercising, that's why eating nutritious, healthy foods is going to give you more energy.
Right.
Yesterday was just one of those times where it was just bad night of sleep. And normally we're pretty positive. Normally we're pretty well rested. But yesterday was one of those situations that probably could have been avoided. So, but because we exercise, because we work out, because we, do things that keep us in a positive state, we have more energy to give at home.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if you are someone that finds yourself not having a lot of energy, I mean, we've talked a lot about sleep, right? So I think that for us is like a number one priority.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have a good nighttime routine. You can't be staying up until midnight, 1 o'clock watching Netflix and then trying to get up at 7, 8 o'clock and go to work. Like, you're not going to be bringing your best self necessarily. And then the routine. That's something that you'd normally do, and I do too, is having that quiet time in the morning, because that's setting the mindset, right? You're intentionally doing something positive and in a quiet, kind of peaceful way. Yeah. And I think that is another, you have to have that routine down in order to set yourself up for success with energy.
Yeah, and even at night too. Like, I think that we need to work on that more, because we don't have a nighttime routine other than the last half hour we have time.
And I think that's very typical for couples with kids, or parents that have young kids, is that your kids are taking up when you come home from work until you put them to bed. And then we've talked about this before, that last hour.
And what do we do with that time?
Right.
And that's
our worst energy.
That's another situation where we get caught up in talking about deeper stuff that we should. And then it creates more, it creates argument. Right. And now we're stuck staying up.
Right.
Late.
Maybe we're going to come away with more questions on what to solve than actual solutions during this podcast, because we get an hour and I'm tired and you're tired, and we
want to catch up.
Right. We want to catch up, and we do have things we need to talk about too. Right. Like, we're planning stuff. We're running a home together. We need to know how each other is doing. So if we've had something happen throughout the day that we want to chat about, sometimes it does get deeper. And then it's like, oh no, it's like 10:30, and we're energized maybe because we've had a deeper conversation, or we're doing something. And so it's just harder, I think.
I think that maybe we need to just relax during the last hour and not bring up heavy topics, not bring up finances.
Right. Let's not do that. Yeah.
Because we don't hang out all day. Right. And that time needs to be just a time where we connect and hang out and just chill, watch Netflix, Right. And
Netflix and chill. So, okay. He said it, not me.
But where's that going?
I don't know where he's going with it. But yes, it needs to be or stretching. I mean, we don't do enough stretching. We do yoga. I've brought that up multiple times.
That one time we did stretch, and that actually I felt better because I was able to sleep better. But just hanging out, even reading, maybe, I don't know if reading would be a good idea, but
10 minutes into it.
Yeah. But maybe just watching this show or something like that we can talk about. And I've realized that things at night need to be more lighter.
Yes.
Nothing like what we were doing with
trying to set up investment accounts at 9:30 at night.
But I think in any argument, any situation that we're able to, if you're able just to step back and look at the lesson that's being taught, you can grow from that situation, and we grew from that situation, and we know that we can be better, next time that comes up. It's hard. It's not easy in the moment, but I think you can plan ahead before it actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so. I think so too. And I mean, one of the things we didn't really talk about when it comes to energy is other people in your lives too, and how other people's energy can impact you. So I think it's also important to surround yourself with people that do feed you and that bring positive energy. I mean, we can't always avoid people that have negative energy, but maybe you've been around someone that you feel like is at work that has made you negative. Maybe you call up your best friend or something, have a really brief conversation that can turn around that energy or something before you get home to your family. So you can come home and bring your best self, or listen to worship music or something like, or something that's going to switch you from that negative to the positive, so you can bring your best self back to your spouse and your kids. And
one podcast I listened to yesterday, I forget who it was. I think his name was Bradley, but he's talking about how in order for your life to change, it starts with you changing. And he said that's all about your perspective. It made me realize, like, and no matter what situation that you're in, what negative environment you're in, whatever it is, whatever place that you're in, you can always have a positive perspective. Yeah. So it just made me realize, like, like my life, where I came from, like I complain about, work and all that. And I feel like I could have been stuck in Guatemala, not have been given my life, and not have my children, not have you. So whenever I feel like I'm complaining in my life, whenever I feel like I'm just whiny and just not grateful for what I have, God reminds me that, Tim, I didn't have to give you any of this. Yeah. And if I keep that in my forefront of my mind, I instantly am grateful for where I'm at.
Yeah, that's good. Yep.
And even in the most mundane place that I'm at, I can just be grateful that I have a job that I'm providing for my family. I'm grateful that I get to come home and see my kids. And Eli today came in and gave me a hug. Yeah. And I forget what he said, but I missed you. He said, Papa, I missed you. Yeah. And man, that really hit me hard because there are dads that come home and don't get to hear that from their kids. Right. So there's always about perspective. Whatever negative thing you think you're going through, there's always something to be grateful, and that's the key, is to have a heart of gratitude and be thankful for the things that you have, because things can be easily taken away from you. Yeah. So always remember that it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I think that I think that to change my mindset of like, well, because you can get down in your own situation, your own pity party if something's not going the way that you wanted it to, and then it's just like, well, this could be a million times worse. Or when Eli is like fussy, was really, really fussy yesterday and crying a lot, and I'm just like, I'm starting to lose patience. But it's that mindset of like, but we have a healthy toddler. Right. Like, there are so many people out there that don't have healthy children, and we were blessed with a healthy kid. So it's that perspective shift, and I think that's just a really good reminder to do that when you're in a negative mindset before you really come home to your family. Just be thankful.
And also not allowing the argument, not allowing the conflict to drag us down. Like you're my partner, you're my person. Yeah. And we're in this journey together for a very long, long time. And we have to be gracious to each other. We have to forgive, and we have to just show love to each other more when we have a bad night, when we have low energy. So and just knowing that I have a wife that I get to argue with, it's just those
what
things.
A blessing.
Yeah, what a blessing. So it's just all about perspective, but I'm grateful that we learned the lesson from yesterday, and not to do things that require more energy and you know what I mean. So yes, but you got anything else?
No, I mean, I think that's it. Just, making sure that you are in a routine, you're getting good sleep, and you're practicing gratitude. Those are the things that help keep your energy up. Yes, being very much aware, especially like you said, like the enemy likes to come in and attack, and if you're not on guard with your thoughts, then you can very, very quickly turn negative, and just really, you don't want to be that negative energy that takes takes away from your family too, right? So you want to be a light, you want to be positive, you want to let the Holy Spirit really be in you. And I think that's another thing too, of just, if you feel yourself going negative, just being able to be aware of it, stop and pray, because all of the fruit of the Holy Spirit is all positive and just good energy.
And just go rest. Like I do that for a reason. When I'm exhausted, because I'm up at 4 a.m. in the morning, I go lay down because I know that I just need 15 more minutes, and I'll be back to normal and feel fine, feel great, and just be back in there, helping the family out. But anyways, our toddler is trying to get in, so we're gonna end this podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you leave in the comments below. Head over to 317wellness.com to check out any service that we offer. But until next time, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.